Hello, everyone, and good evening, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care at Talks. I am Nandini Upadhyay, your host of the show. I would like to welcome you all. So, let me tell you a bit about EdTalks. So, EdTalk is a platform where educators and leaders like you come on board and express their viewpoints on education and society. So, our topic for the discussion is embracing changes and discussing the importance of adaptability and how to navigate transitions and changes successfully. To express their viewpoints on the same, we have with us Dr. Paramjeet Kaur ma'am, who is the director of Arya Samaj Group of School, Ludhiana, Punjab. Welcome, Paramjeet ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on board. It's my pleasure.
Next, we have with us Miss Smita Sharma ma'am, who is the principal of LRS DAV Senior Secondary Model School, Abohar, Punjab. Welcome, Smita ma'am.
Thank you, Nandini. Thank you.
Next is Sister Ophelia Lobo, who is the principal of St. Joseph Convent School, Bhatinda, Punjab. Welcome, sister.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Nandini, ma'am.
Next is Dr. Som Prakash sir, who is the principal of the Cambridge School from Punjab. Welcome, Som sir.
Thank you so much, and I also welcome all my fellow, academicians over here. Thank you so much.
Next, we have with us Miss Manisha ma'am, who is the managing director and the principal of Starwards World School, Amritsar, Punjab. Welcome, Manisha ma'am.
Thank you so much, and it's my privilege to be here on board. Thank you.
Next is Miss Suja S. Matthew ma'am, who is the principal of Sika School, number 2, Indore, MP. Welcome, Suja ma'am. And last, we have with us Miss Basanti Bhish ma'am, who is the principal of Gyan Bharati Public School, Karnal, Haryana. Welcome, Basanti ma'am.
Ma'am, please make correction. It is Fountainhead Fountainhead International School, Mahu.
Okay, ma'am.
Good evening, good evening, everyone. And it's my great pleasure to join the webinar.
Thank you, ma'am. So, very warm welcome to all the educators once again. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time. So, let's start with our session for today. So, my very first question is for Dr. Paramjeet Kaur, ma'am. Ma'am, why is adaptability important in today's business environment? Over to Paramjeet, ma'am.
Yes, I think the topic that we've selected today is very relevant. That we have to adapt. All organizations, all businesses, institutions, they need to adapt. It's not only important for their success, but it is important for their very survival. If they do not adapt, they are going to get obsolete, and very soon they are going to finish. So it's something very, very relevant. Keeping yourself innovative and keeping yourself relevant with the situations, with the environment is very important. Now, why this adaptability is important? First of all, the market dynamics are changing every time. You know, there are ups and downs, there are technological revolutions, so many things are coming up. There's so many, we are living in a world, we call it the VUCA world, which is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So everything is in a state of flux. It's changing very rapidly. And if we are not able to change ourselves at that pace, definitely we are going to be left behind. And another important thing is technological advancements. The technological advancements are happening so fast, and all this automation, or you can say artificial intelligence, and other things which are coming up because of technology, that makes us we have to be adaptive to these things, otherwise we'll be left behind. And we do not want this. Any organization would never want that we become obsolete and we become redundant and we are not relevant to the present scenario. And another important thing is the competition and globalization. Globalization has made us all a small world, and the competition is not just local, it is global. And when the competition is global, obviously our intentions have to be, we have to ensure that we are able to change as per the situation, and we are able to cope up with the changes that are happening. The customers definitely, they want something new. When COVID happened, for example, that we had to change things overnight. Things where we had to learn to work from home, we had to learn to be doing things online, and obviously all the strategies changed overnight. So we were able to change ourselves. That is why we survived. We were able to come out of it. So that's very important. Customer expectations are changing all the time, so we have to ensure that we are doing what the customers want. Agility and innovation is another thing which we should ensure that we are adapting. When we are innovative, we are thinking out of the box, we are having creative ideas, definitely that will make us, keep us relevant with the situation. And once we are able to be agile and innovative, we are able to manage the risks of the future. We'll be able to manage we'll be able to anticipate the risks and overcome the ups and downs of the society. That, and one thing more I must say, when we are adaptive, when we are innovative, when we are thinking of new things, we'll be able to retain the talent with us. All the people, not only, they are not only wanting to have big salary packages, they also want their growth. They want to learn new things. They want to improve their skills. And if an organization is innovative and helping people to, be creative, they would definitely, will be able to attract talent. They will be able to retain their manpower with them. That's very important. Another thing is, they'll be resilient. If you're adaptive, you're resilient. You're able to anticipate the risks, and in case you are having a failure, you'll be able to rise up again and be resilient and able to sustain. So I think I'm taking so much of time. Thank you so much. That is why I think they have been able to do justice to just ensuring that we have to be adaptive so that we are able to survive and succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paramjeet, ma'am. And ma'am, the great example which you gave about COVID, we all experienced that. And I'm sure everyone saw the changes during the time. Over a night, everything changed. So thank you once again, ma'am. So my next question is for Sister Ophelia. Ma'am, what role does effective communication play in managing change and transition within a team or organization? Over to Sister.
Thank you, ma'am. I wish to begin by saying what is communication before I can speak on what role it has in managing change. Communication is the actionable transfer of information from one to the other in any form. So, since it is actionable, it needs to be understood to bring in a change. Therefore, communication needs to be with energy, with clarity, and with empathy. When I say with energy, it means what I say is what I believe to be true, practical, and worth doing. And when I communicate, you also will believe what I believe. And that should be the communication. Great companies became highly successful, I must say, not because they had a great product to sell to the people whom they were addressing to, but because their employees were all pulling in the same direction. And this goal oriented outlook came by the way of effective communication from the people on the top to the people at the bottom. And at the same time, people sideways, leader to leader, everyone knew at the right time what is to be done, and what time it has to be done, and how it has to be done. Only then they could excel and achieve success. And this means there should be a clarity and what is communicated. And change is always horrifying. Natural human tendency towards change is resistance. And why is this resistance? It's simply because It involves moving out of the comfort zone of a person, from known to the unknown and from familiar to the uncertainties. As a leader, one needs to understand how to navigate through changes smoothly and effectively if one wants to lead the team to the success. There could be, I should say, several stages involved in this, such as planning, implementing, and evaluating the change. In planning, one needs to identify the need for change and set clear goals for change, and then the objectives for the same. And this involves assessing the current situation and determining what needs to be improved. And when that clarity is there in someone, the person can communicate effectively and efficiently. Key players involved in this stage are known as the change agents. We can call them as change agents, and who will lead the team through the change. Now, these key change agents need to be kept close to the leader, and where the leader has to communicate everything in truth to the person, that's key agents. And then these key agents will will be able to transfer that information to the other people. To be effective in our communication, I think we also need to be aware of the potential barriers that are involved in the communication. In an organization or in a team known to us, the mainly, I should say, the barrier would be the hindrance of language. The leader needs to keep that in mind. The orders given or the communication done should be very, very simple and then specific without any doubts. To do all this, what is needed is, first of all, the leader must establish a sense of trust and reduce uncertainties in order to ensure a smooth and successful transition process. This is especially important when managing resistance to change in the people around. The second needed thing is active listening and empathetical dealing. Active listening is an important component of communication. Giving your full attention to the speaker, demonstrating what you are engaged and interested in, that what you have to say, maybe their suggestions, fears, or a tentative alternative suggestion for implementation will be communicated to the leader. Making these welcome and appreciating what they share will reduce their fear and boost their confidence. I'm sure this kind of a communication will be an efficient communication to bring in a change in the organization. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure I have made my point. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sister Ophelia, for sharing your beautiful point of view. So, my next question is for Basanti ma'am. Ma'am, what are some common challenges individuals or organization face when navigating transitions or changes? Over to Basanti ma'am. Basanti ma'am, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself. Basanti ma'am, just click on the mic. Ma'am, you're not audible. You're still unmute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Thank, thank you. Some of the common challenges that individual or institutions face when navigating transitions or changes. So, first of all, what is a change? Actually, change is a structured approach. Change is that individual or team or organization from their current state to a desired future state. So it is very important to know the change, what change is required to bring in the institution or for the team. That is very important, for which the change is maybe very easy or it may be very difficult. When challenges comes, it becomes difficult. So some of the challenges that I feel in the fast pace today's dynamic environment, that organization must continuously adopt and evolve so that they can stay competitive and relevant. The very first, which I think is effective leadership, is required. In case of ineffective leadership, the leader must be well aware and must be well trained, must be updated so that he can guide the teammates or the stakeholders to bring about the desired change, to bring the institutional goals to success. So the ineffective leadership may lead to the problem or may lead to bring hindrance in change. So this is one of the major challenge, the leadership, proper leadership in improper leadership, because in absence of mm, a proper region or vision of the change, even the team cannot work properly. So the very first challenge is ineffective or uh, leadership. And the second change which I would like to bring in notice is the resistance to change. Many of the team members, individuals are working since long. So they even don't wish to change because they are in a very, uh, we can say that they are in a very good mood. They are well set with the work. They have been working since long back. Senior members, team members are also there who have been working since long back. So they face difficulty. They have fear of the change, what their position, what their goal will be set for while bringing some change in the institution. So this is the resistance to change is there in the team members. They put resistance because they don't want to change themselves. So first of all, the team members, the individuals must be ready to change. So resistance to change is the second biggest challenge in bringing the changes. Other than that, lack of clarity, what change the institution or the organization or the team wants, if the clarity is not there about their goal, about their region and vision, if clarity is not there, so this lack of clarity is one of the major hindrance, or you can say challenge, in bringing about the change in any of the institution. So the clarity must be there. Now, our biggest challenge is inadequate resource. Unless and until we will provide, the organization or the team leader will provide a proper resource. The resources may include, the biggest resource is money, because for arranging all the resources, money is very important. So the biggest challenge in bringing about or navigating the transition is resource. So resource in the form of money, in the form of time, because the team members have to devote time in the beginning, because they must be groomed, they need to be updated. So time is a resource in this sense. Money is a resource. Technology is the biggest resource which need to be developed. The team members need to be educated. The infrastructure need to be updated with the technology. So inadequate resource is one of the challenge in bringing about or navigating the um, r- transition. Other than that, we can limited knowledge about the current era, current requirement, about the change. What type, if we will say about the education, so what are the changes uh, are to be brought in the education society, that must be very clear. So until and unless our manpower, the teachers and the school leader is full of knowledge, it is not easy, or it is the change may be delayed or maybe even fail. So lack of knowledge is one of the challenge in bringing about the change. Other than that, inadequate training and support. The training is one of the most important uh, aspect of the change. Unless and until the people, the aged people, we all, we are why updated, why we are able to resist here, we remain here in the our position, because we are adopting the new policies, the new we are being updated ourselves with technology, with the knowledge. Then only we can stay in the stream. So it is very important that training and support. Without training and support, even our team members cannot bring about, help us to bring the change. So that is very important, and that is one of the challenge in. Other than that, attitude of the head and organization, this is one of the very important. Again, we can say, can I continue, or my time is over?
No, ma'am, please
One
go
minute
ahead.
more.
Yes, ma'am,
Uh,
sure.
so shortcoming in strategies and planning of the uh, organization and head, because planning and strategies reduces half of the load. So it is the attitude of the head and organization which can bring tremendous change, desired change, whatever change we require. So that planning and strategies, in lack of that, it is not possible. And the attitude of the organization towards the organization, the Rome is not built in a day, it will take, of course, time. So that time is to be given to the team members, because of course we are having our senior manpower, they are experienced, so that is the main power of them themselves. So they need to be given time, they need to be given training, they need to be support. Then only the change is possible. Other than that, uh, it is well said, the change start from the top and ends at the bottom. With this, I would like to conclude, and thank you very much, everyone, my colleagues, for listening me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Basanti, ma'am, for sharing your point
I
of view.
I hope I was to the point.
Yes, ma'am, definitely you were. So, my next question is for Smita, ma'am. Ma'am, how can embracing change contribute to personal or professional growth and development? Over to Smita, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Nandini. So, as we are talking about changes, and we have listened so many intellectuals upon how the change is brought about and what are the challenges and how does it help the organizations and all. I would like to just say a word as Sister Ophelia also mentioned that coming out of comfort zone is something that everybody resists. People resist change, and that is because they are in their comfort zone and they need to come out of their comfort zone. So coming out of comfort zone means you require some extra effort, getting some extra effort you have to do, and that extra effort itself adds to our learning. We learn, then we unlearn, and then we relearn, and that is how a change is brought about. A change means we have to learn new things. We may have to unlearn some of the previous things or some of the old things, the old practices we may have to unlearn. and then we have to relearn some of the things in a new mode. See, change is the law of nature. Nature is evolving through change only. Similarly, as individuals, we also evolve through change, and organizations also evolve through change. So, because we are in the education sector, change is everything around us is changing. The world around us is changing, and we have to prepare our children for the changing world. And only through the change we can learn new things. So this is how we are growing. Our personal growth takes place through the changes only. When we learn or new things, and we unlearn odd things, we evolve, we grow. And when we grow as a person, we contribute to the growth of the organization. So professionally also, the growth takes place through change only. And personally, it is, if we don't change, it is, we are going to be stagnant after some time. So change has to be there for the growth. See, if I take the example of COVID-19, we all learned how to use these Zoom classes and Google Meets, and we all learned. And that was within a matter of days, we learned all this, because we have to teach our children through those devices only. And I suppose children learned much better and beyond what we as adults learned. So it was the change, the shift from the offline classes, from the physical mode of classes to the online classes. That shift, that change was the basic reason, the basic cause behind the learning that we all took place. So it's not only your personal growth, it is professionally also, whenever changes take place. Now, if we come to the National Education Policy 2020, that's again a change from what we were doing up till now. So that is also a change. And of course, to adapt to that change, we are growing, we are planning, we are making, we are thinking of how we can inculcate these many subjects, how we can integrate art with our education. How can we integrate now? So it is sports, we have to integrate with the with our curriculum. Then we have to integrate different interdisciplinary integration has to be there. So we are learning, because this was not our habitual way of teaching. So we have to inculcate all these things in the teaching. We are learning, we are planning, and we are trying to help out each other wherever, through our best practices, or wherever we feel confident enough that this is what we are doing is very good, and others may also do that. So I won't take much of your time. Thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you so much, Smita ma'am. And of course, you highlighted the NEP 2020, which is also a change in the education system. So thank you once again, Smita ma'am. So my next question is for Suja ma'am. Ma'am, how can leaders foster a culture of adaptability and openness to change within their terms or organization? Sorry, within their teams or organization. Over to Suja ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to everybody. It was nice hearing from each of the intellectuals, because being a leader of a team itself is very much challenging. Having the diverse mindset and many things happening around means always the change, as Madam has been telling, many, all of them nearly, that education happens to be a dynamic system itself altogether. So, if at all any change is wanted, each of the member is equally important. Fact is that if at all the change which always goes for the better, either for the growth or for enhancing your services or the product, that's the basic thing anybody want to change or will change. Now, here, what exactly is there for the long term relevance in the system, or whatever the goals we want to attain at the other end, you alone can't do it. we want the support of each of our team members who would have a different qualifications, different mindset, this mindset then, and also their the real and virtual symptoms that they are facing. It could be they are to have a challenging or their vocabulary problem or the confidence problem, or now mainly the technological how to handle it. The main problems are happening in that way. But one thing is there that if you are open to at all levels, never top to down, but all the end levels, whatever we are there, here to them, be open to the suggestions, give space to each of them to just go and experiment away. Give them the confidence enough to see that yes, their their suggestions also do matter. All these things really would give whatever the change you wanted, the result will definitely come. That positivity you have to maintain. The change, as you said, as it we know that whenever this change statement comes, Gandhiji's that quote always comes, that is always for the good. Fine, you start from yourself. That is the leader itself. So you, if at all one is curious enough and make the other people think that the change, whatever is happening, it is for the good, and let them understand the need of it, then definitely they will set their own goals. The barriers, whatever they do face, which may be again, as I mentioned earlier, it could be real or virtual. Let's face it, give them that, yeah, if at all there are some setbacks, all your ideas won't be exactly what you say successful. You may find some setbacks, but yes, it's bound to happen. Because if all everything will happen according as you wish, then this is not going to be a good place to live in. We do have some common goals to attain. Now we have different paths to go here. We have to be little flexible from our point, and we have to give them enough, what do you say, put of thought that here, if your plan A is not working, let's go for plan B here, and a strategy enough to have the same goal. गोल आपका इतना ही है कि yeah, the learning outcomes has to be this one. Now does any, as you mentioned, one of the member also mentioned, what is that again proper aim, what is the basic aim they had it, that yes, जो बच्चे लोग whatever they learn it, उसका proper execution हो, or the real learning is happening, that part we have to make it sure it is not rote learning, it is really understanding the basic things around, or understand more about the nature here. So one of the word which I just came across while preparing for this seminar here, that is this positional flexibility. That is, one is completely realistic of what exactly your aim or what of the set goals are there. That is, they change the opportunity, they take it as opportunity, and you practice the ability to remain optimistic and at the same time realistic. Don't expect everything happening in just one go or one statement or one diktat. You may have your, what you, high ideal सब बिल्कुल बनाइएगा, लेकिन it should be in a way strategy. You have to make it. You have to make your team members also with you, and an ownership that you have to make them clear. Keep this year, means dear all, this is where we are having. We may be visionary thinking, but yes, we have to be open minded also about the problems or the things which we have to do. We should be having a sort of ready to take the risk and then attain what we want. And that again starts, I won't say the leader is the only one which starts it. We have to make at each domain the ownership we have to give to them, and then yes, they are part of the team, and every success, every setback, we all are there to take care of it. So I would say that the change, whatever is envisioned here, that definitely we can do, and we can attain the mission. That being in the education field, we are really proud that we never feel old. With the children, we feel that energy. Yes, there is a hope. And as usual, you always try to be positive, and I'm really thankful for the chance to keep up my views there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suja ma'am. You so rightly said that you need to start with yourself if you have to make a change. So thank you once again, ma'am. So my next question is for Som Prakash sir. Sir, what can you share? Can you share an example of a time when you had to adapt to a significant change, and how did you successfully navigate through it? Over to Som sir.
Thank you so much. See, throughout my career, throughout my life, I have been an innovator, a creator, and technology is one aspect which has been very close to me, my heart. As a teacher, when I began very early, and I started using technology. But the real challenge came to my life, and relevant to your question also, when I joined as a principal in 2006-7 session. It was my dream to implement the latest technology in my school, but the school was in rural area, and nearby the city was there, a big city was there, but in the entire city, no technological advancement was happening, and none of the principals, they were ready to implement any changes. At that time, I happened to present one paper in Chandigarh based on the latest trends in technology, and based on that, there was one company, and they approached me for their proposal or project which they had implemented in one of the top schools in Chandigarh itself. So they took me again to Chandigarh. They made me visit that school. They made me see that technology. I was very much impressed, because that was already something in miniature that I was implementing. So I at once I made up a mind that I would implement this thing, and that was a huge decision. Mind you, that was 2006-7, and technology had not come in the schools. Even mobiles, laptops, they were not common, in that part of the country. So I had taken up this decision, and I had started the implementation process also. But the major challenge was for me was to convince the parents, because see, this entire process had the financial aspect also. The cost was too much at that time, because the technology had just started, so the things were very costly. I'm talking about smart class 2006-7. None of the schools had smart class, and it was very costly. I took up the decision, and the way I navigated through this challenge was, I every day in the beginning 2 hours in the school, I used to complete all my tasks for the day. Then I used to take my team with me in a small van, took a projector, a screen, and I used to visit people, because I knew people would not come to see that. I have to go. I have to bring my project to the people. So I used to give demonstration in villages, 20, 30, 40, 50 people. In 40 days, I almost gave the demonstration to over 1,000 people of that technology, and I convinced them that this is going to be the future of education. And the way I announced it, within 2-3 years, we saw by 2010-12, every single school had implemented. And this was a pride thing for me, that my school, which was a small school in a remote rural area, people from city schools, big names, they came to my school to visit, to know what is technology, what is smart class, and then followed by that, they implemented that technology in their school. See, I had to visit Chandigarh, but those people, those big schools, they visited my school. And one more big change came into my personality also. I was a good orator. Before that also, I was a good orator, but that extensive practice, everyday practice, that gave me a chance. The company whose project I had implemented in my school, they made me a brand ambassador, and I was instrumental in giving them more than 100 schools. More than 100 schools, they implemented technology when I convinced them. So they made me brand ambassador. I earned a lot of money also, name also, and I became a professional trainer. Till now, in the last 15 years, I've trained over 5,000 teachers, 50,000 parents on various topics, including technology. And I am the one who is using technology continuously in daily life also, schools also. Whatever latest techno comes, it is there available in my school. So changes come to your life once, often, and not very often, but then you have to grab the opportunity, grab the chances, and if you use them wisely, then it can change your life in real manner. And this technology. And today you see, began from smart class, and today we have the AI coming into the classrooms, and very soon, mind my words, very soon AI is going to be the daily thing in schools also. And changes are big that are going to come into the scenario, from tabs to the flat panel TVs, interactive TVs, and content, and this and that. So many things are happening, and I think your company is also involved in all these activities. So I can see, still I can see a very bright, even bright future for the technological field in education, because both are the same thing. Technology is also dynamic, education is also dynamic, and if we club both of them, we can we can have very fruitful outcomes, products. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Som sir. And first of all, I would like to say that we all are proud of you for the initiative that you took, for I think so now 10 years back. So thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience. And my next question and the last question is for Manisha, ma'am. So, ma'am, how do you define adaptability and why it is important in today's rapidly changing environment, according to you? Over to Manisha, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe the last speaker of the day. But yes, I find that we all have embraced technology, embraced the changes so much that the shift we can see, the panel discussions which used to be held a few years back, and today we are on board on this Zoom meeting. So that's the shift, and we have all embraced it so gracefully. Thank you for being with us, everybody. It is delightful to hear the intellectuals so much for the day. And what I believe is that change is the only constant in life. In mere 5 to 6 decades, which we all people have seen, actually there are eras. In such short span, we had seen talk of anything: industry, means of communication, transportation, education, fashion, technology, and whatnot. From letters to telegrams to fax, emails, WhatsApp, we have witnessed all the changes. From Doordarshan to Netflix on your mobile phones, there has been a huge paradigm shift, and we have all seen it. We have seen it, and we have adapted accordingly. That is why we are surviving. So if we resist change, we are resisting life. The major essence of existence is change and adaptation. If we remember Darwin's theory, it also suggested survival of the fittest and the adaptation. If we talk of Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna also talked of adaptation. Adaptation is the act of changing and making ourselves suitable, not only physically, emotionally, intellectually, and again, the new thing, the technologically, with the new environment. We should be like fluid, like water, finding our way in all the circumstances and all the spheres of life. In whatever place we are, like water, it changes into vapors or ice in whatever condition it is required. So we have to change. There is no other option. We cannot think of becoming rocks or mountains, because rocks and mountains, they erode with extreme changes. Water doesn't. It makes its own way. And we have to adapt and learn that thing from the water. In the world of which is characterized by ceaseless technological advances, geospatial shifts, and socio-economic and eco-economic fluctuations, the ability to adapt has become the linchpin, both for individual or for organization. The importance of adaptability becomes glaringly apparent in the face of unforeseen global events, such as, ma'am and sister also talked about COVID-19 pandemic. We saw the fastest adaptation during this era. Yes, we went to online classes, work from homes, online workouts, online workshops, lot of learning happened, and the fastest researched vaccination made us survive through this pandemic. Being adaptable showcases our ability to be resourceful, displays our leadership skills, determination, positive mindset, analytical skills, and much more. One person becomes more valuable whether you are an employer or employee. You become better leader, happier, more relevant, and better equipped to face challenges and the changes. As a leader, when you embrace change, your employees are actually inspired to do so. The more adaptable you are as a leader, the more focused and open minded you are, the more respect you earn. Happiness quotient increases because the stress factor of change decreases. We all are actually scared, a bit scared of change because we all want to be in our, cocoon, our safety zone. We are taking at this middle age where we are taking life as a safety, not as a zest. We have to learn to take life as a zeal and zest. With the ongoing changes, especially in this technology, it is very, very important to stay relevant. 80% of the jobs which existed few years back are not there. And with what is like AI coming, chat GPT and things, many more are likely to go. We need to change with the ongoing landscape and prove our relevance. To become adaptable, first thing is this: we have to go out of our comfort zone. We have to be better listener. And yes, as a last speaker, I can prove that yes, we were. We have to learn to ask more questions and willing to make mistakes. We have to be positive. Look out of the positivity in everything. Always be a learner. Find balance and practice emotional intelligence, which is very important. We all know that in this era, we are talking of mental health and emotional intelligence a lot. We have to have, like ma'am said, I think Smita ma'am said, ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Start looking life as a zest. Once again, I'll say, have a positive mindset, because negativity, that solves nothing. So stay positive, stay happy, and embrace the changes of life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Manisha ma'am, for sharing your views. So that's how we come to the end of the session. So thank you so much, educators, for imparting your knowledge and experience on the topic. It was indeed a very insightful and a very informative session. So looking forward to many more sessions with you all. So I, Nandini Upadhyay, the host of the show, would like to sign off. Thank you so much, everyone,
Thank you.
once again.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.